Oh yeah, I got lots of love from my frog buddies. There's one of them. And there's a couple of more of them. What do frogs eat during the summer? This is an easy one. Hopsicles. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Good Saturday morning to all of you out there, wherever you may be tuning in with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. Glad you are with us on this hot and steamy Saturday in July. It's rather roasty, toasty, all those things. Good morning, Sir Edward. How are you?
I'm good until this montage of joke thing came on, pool thing. It kind of like made me spasm. So let's not have that happen again.
Oh, you'll be okay. You'll be all right. You gotta stop complaining. Life's too short. Life's too sweet. You can't be upset about little things. You just can't. You just really can't. We got a jam-packed show for all of you today. In fact, we're going to be joined talking fantasy football with ESPN's Matt Miller. That segment brought to you by Taco Bell, Liv Moss. After
I didn't think Matt Miller was available.
It was not really coming on the show. I want to see if you were paying attention or not. No, our first guest will be John Krikorian, new Elon assistant basketball coach, formerly of Christopher Newport University. We do have Coach K coming on the show. That Coach K, not the other Coach K. We'll also be joined at 11:05 a.m. That's what we agreed to. New Menchville football coach Brent Ashley going to join us on the program. So we're excited to talk with Coach Ashley over there at Menchville. Brent Ashley coming on the program. He's been a head football coach before at Tab, and you might remember his pops, by the way, was the AD good long while at York High School. So we'll talk about that. And I understand, if I read right, maybe he just got engaged, did Coach Ashley, Brent Ashley. So we'll chat about that as well as the outlook for the 2026 Monarchs this particular season. And George Pantas will join us, Virginia Championship Wrestling, because that is coming up next week at the Portsmouth Pavillion. So we will.
1 week from tonight.
Yeah, the
1
villain
week
will be
from
back.
tonight. Lethal lottery.
Ed's mood will drastically change, not so much with excitement, but with anger and hostility when George comes on the show. So that's all on deck for us today on this episode. Ed's not. I don't imagine you had any Taco Bell lettuce or any hopsicles, did you?
Nope. Stay away from that stuff because it could make you run to the bathroom a lot.
Okay. What about hopsicles? They don't make you run to the bathroom.
Popsicle?
Hopsicles. What?
No such thing as hopsicles. No such thing.
You just heard about it. We entered the show with hopsicles.
No, that's one of the dumbest jokes, if we can even call that. I wouldn't even give it that.
Listen, people wide and far are loving the jokes. They're loving them.
No, it's some horrible stuff.
We do have to talk some sports on this particular episode. No laughing matter. By the way, we have a couple of clips with football coaches too. Mike Privott of Booker T. Washington, first year at the helm, former linebacker standout for NSU in Louisville, and Glenwood Ferebee getting ready for year number 2 at the helm of the Tallwood Lions, trying to restore the roar in Virginia Beach. So that's on the way on this episode as well. But we have to start with, Ed, did you ever think you'd be wrong and I'd be right? Well, of course you did. About the World Cup soccer as we await the finale coming up. All the FIFA fans, all the soccer fans, Spaniards, Argentinians, as it's Spain versus Argentina. Lionel Messi's final World Cup. And will Matt Hatfield's pick of Spain come true and come through?
Yeah, you got me on that one because I had France.
You
France
did.
is now out, and I'm going to lean
Out of
towards
the picture.
Argentina in an upset
Are you really?
because of Lionel. I'm a messy.
No, you're just doing it to be opposite me and different.
No, that's true too.
You can't tactically.
That way, one of us wins
Break
and
that
one of us loses.
Listen, Ed's a little groggy this morning, folks, because he was up late celebrating the 45-point 10-assist effort for Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark last night in their 110-107 triumph over the Seattle Storm. We know he was so giddy about that. He certainly wasn't giddy about the return of Major League Baseball and what happened in the Bronx, but he was giddy about the WNBA last night and what Caitlin Clark did as he shakes his head. I don't know why you're upset. Caitlin Clark's a tremendous talent. What are you getting upset for?
Well, she's tremendous talent. I'm just a little bit after my WNBA rant. I think a week or two ago. The WNBA is
You
just
had one?
a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, I don't. It's too much shenanigans going on in WNBA that shouldn't be, and a lot of it involves Caitlin Clark. And
Is that her fault?
no, it's not. Most all of it is not her fault.
Okay.
Unless she's agitating, which at times with her mouth she may, but it's
Her
really
mouth? When did she run her mouth?
she got a little bit of what word can I use? I can't think of it right off the top of my head here, but
Well, you have a mouth and you agitate, aggravate, and aggregate, as our
No.
intro mentioned last week on the show.
not even close.
do.
Not even close. I don't really want to go on this WNBA route again. I already did it, and there's a lot of jealousy, animosity shown towards Caitlin Clark throughout the WNBA that should happen. And some people say Caitlin Clark stirs the pot a little bit with comments and whatever, and a feeling of she's above everybody, which I don't think that part is true. The fanfare has made it seem that way ever since she came into WNBA. I think there's a lot of jealousy. So I'll just leave it at that way.
Okay. I was just bringing up she had 45 points and 10 assists, which is
good. That's great.
the first player in WNBA history with that type of performance, statistically speaking. That's all. And then you decided to take it. I wonder if that's good OJ or bad OJ. It might be bad OJ.
That's
for
good
you
OJ today, baby. Some good
on this
OJ.
particular Saturday, you went that route. So since you got that hater label today, and you're a hater, we'll shift gears from the WNBA to the NBA, and quickly ask you, since you are a guy that has had a couple of winding road, different paths in your coaching career, from see how I'm doing there with look at that and the nice waves. They got the waves behind. I can't wait to commercial break. I'm going to jump in this water.
And like Jeff Jones once said, let me go see you play that piano in the background of your other situation. I'm going to say,
yes, Woody, Ed's a hater. He's no question.
Let me see you do some fool in the pool.
I will. It's coming. That's coming. And I know
I'm sorry. No, not the pool. Go in the ocean behind you right now. Let me see how true.
I don't want to drown, and that would be rude to our viewers that are waiting for me to ask.
A whole lot of viewers would not say a word.
They would be a little disappointed if they had to deal with you for an entire show. They already get disgruntled having to deal with you for as long as they do. With an hour and a half, 2 hours with this guy. I mean, come on. But as I'm going on my winding road of you from Suffolk High to Norview to college ball, Pennsylvania, Green Run, Nance, whatever, for about 20-something years. And now you're at Smithfield we think, the final chapter of your coaching career. We can never say for sure. There's another guy that's done similar to you. He didn't go to college, but he hails from Akron, Ohio. He's been with the Cleveland Cavaliers to the Miami Heat, made his big decision back to the Cavaliers, to the LA Lakers, and now he has one final stop. Do you have any inkling, any suspicion where LeBron James is going? Because I'm sure everybody is wanting to know, and you might have some inside info on this matter.
Well, You're making me go from the WNBA rant, semi-small, thoughtful rant, to another rant.
Make sure you get it done because we have Krikorian coming on sharp in 9 minutes.
Well, my thing is this. We need to stop all the BS about LeBron and where is he going. I don't want to say nobody cares because we do. I want to know where he's going too. But we're spending too much time on it. We're giving it too much credence. And there's other free agents that we don't even talk about. I understand. None of them are LeBron James. I get all that.
Just like Caitlin Clark, 45 points, 10 assists. They move the needle. Whether you like them or not, they move the needle. Deal with it.
And people need to take that needle and put it in LeBron's rump.
Wow.
Make a damn choice and get on with it. He likes this fanfare. He knows where he's going, but he's playing it out.
Does he? Are you sure about that? Have you talked to him?
Yes. I didn't talk to him. I don't need to talk.
But Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre did the same thing, didn't they?
Aaron Rodgers is a buffoon.
Brett Favre did the same thing. They both did.
I'm just saying, who cares? I can't say who cares because we do. Get it done with. Make your selection. And let's move on to the next item. We spend too much time in sport.
He hasn't earned that right as the all-time leading scorer, as a 4-time champion, as a guy that has.
Nobody has that right to say.
Who says they have to make a decision on your time watch?
Season was over. What regular season?
What if Smithfield High School told you need to accept this job by July the 22nd, and you decided to string it out till August?
I would have it. No, I would have that decision made within 24 hours.
Maybe check with your administration to see if that's accurate.
Absolutely would have it done in 24 hours.
All right, admin of Smithfield, if you're watching the show, and I know you are, send me a text and let me know if that was true. Or did Ed Young basically do the whole? Let me give me a couple more hours, give me a couple more days, give me a couple more weeks.
I think that I made the Smithfield decision the same day.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure I did.
But was that the case for every coaching decision in your illustrious coaching career?
I really did not take more than, I'll say, 72 hours for a decision on a coaching job that I took. No more.
So you think Adam Silver was well within his right to say that LeBron needs to hurry up and make a decision because he's holding our TV schedule? A guy that's, 43 years of age, holding our TV schedule hostage.
But see here, this is why Adam Silver is one of the worst commissioners in the history of commissioners.
You did say that last week, yeah.
Screw it. So screw LeBron and holding up the schedule. Go ahead and make a schedule. And if LeBron picks New Orleans and they're not on any games, guess what? They're not on any games. That's LeBron's fault.
But that's pretty. They're placating to LeBron with it. It's a pretty sad statement for the NBA.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They cater. He is a tremendous. He'll go down as maybe the greatest of all time.
I'm sorry. He's 41, not 43. I misspoke on his age. But continue on.
But anyways, yeah. I wish he would hurry up and make a decision so we can go on to the next news item. I still think Cleveland. I don't think the fit in Philly is going to be good. If he's even really considering Philly.
I'm hearing Denver's a sneaky sleeper dark horse now.
To me, LeBron's going to go where they have a chance to win, not get into playoffs, win the title. He's got a couple years left. And
if he wants to win the title, his best option, in my opinion, would be the San Antonio Spurs to go be the veteran presence, the sage oldster, as you like to call it.
And they're not even in the running. I haven't heard their name mentioned.
Unless there's some, you never know. They could be the
right. It could be somebody nobody's even thinking of. Yeah. Everybody's saying Cleveland because going back, quote.
I don't think it's a good fit with James Harden. I don't think that's a good fit. And I'm not sure if Philly's a great fit with Joel Embiid because sometimes those guys are unreliable. Great talents, especially Embiid now more than Harden at this stage of their careers. But dependability and availability matter in sports, especially at the highest of levels. And I think the Spurs would make the most sense to me. I don't think he's going to ultimately pick them. My gut's telling me it's going to be Miami. South Beach with the waters warm. You have Pat Riley. You have Bam. You have Giannis. I think he's going back to Miami to be a villain.
And Miami could be there. A lot of people also are speculating Golden State. Curry.
I don't see that.
LeBron Green, all that.
It seems like a pipe dream to me. I don't see that.
My whole attitude is get the doggone thing over with so we can go on to the next item. And it will go. Philly, the reason I don't like Philly is you mentioned Embiid hardly ever plays. And when he plays, sometimes he hardly ever plays. Jaylen Brown's the number one option. You got Maxey, you got Edgecombe. LeBron is like the fifth option, but he's not a fifth option guy. So I don't think Philly is quite the right fit, but we'll see. Like I said, you can make a case for any of the teams we mentioned and a few that we have not mentioned.
Coming up next, we got John Krikorian, the real Coach K, stopping by to chat about why he left CNU for Elon. That's on the way. You're watching 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to where, Coach?
Right here on Cova Sports TV. Make sure you do like us, share, and subscribe.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
That last picture you saw on the screen is our guest here, John Krikorian, with us here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Glad you are tuned in as well. Like, share, and subscribe with the coach, the evil basketball coach, Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield, but we say congratulations on the new digs to our Coach K, not the guy Krzyzewski who's retired from Duke, but again, John Krikorian, the guy who led Christopher Newport to a national championship at the Division III level in 2023, 427 wins in his great career at the helm of the Captains. I believe it was 15 years at CNU, 12 NCAA tournament berths, and 4 Final Four trips, going to Division I ranks, Coach, as an assistant to Elon. How are the new digs? And I see you got a nice little setup there. And is that North Carolina you're in?
Yeah, little North Carolina. I'm outside here, mostly because I don't have any furniture yet in our place. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind, but a lot of fun.
If someone had told you back in December it would be your last year at CNU and you'd be coaching Division I basketball as an assistant, and again, you have a coach career, which we'll dive into, prior to your great run at CNU, Hall of Fame level, all the things you did there, a national championship, what would you have told somebody?
I think I hope that I approached every season as if it was the last one for me as a head coach. And, for me, I always wanted every season to be special for that group of players, regardless of what previous teams had done or what future teams might do. So that was my approach every season. This unique group of guys, this is all they got. This is the only time they will ever be together as a group. Every season is unique. And so I don't think I ever took that for granted. I loved my time at Christopher Newport and in Newport News, and it's certainly going to be home in a lot of ways for the rest of my life. But yeah, I don't think it would have been crazy if somebody asked me that.
Yeah, you certainly helped elevate Division III in the state of Virginia on a national scale. We see what you've done and other programs, the Macons, the Wesleyans. We had Coach Kahn on for his championship. For you, though, to go to the Division I ranks, it had to be something that was especially unique, this opportunity. What was it about Elon? I know relationships are big in the sport. I imagine there's a relationship there that helped draw you to this situation that you're now at.
Yeah, you know, when you're calling the shots for 20 years as a head coach, as I did, you know, it's really important. It was important for me that if I was going to take the step to be an assistant coach again at the Division I level, that it was with somebody that I respected. I knew that I was going to be able to learn a lot from, you know, and that was the case with Billy Taylor, who I've known since his time as the head coach at Lehigh back when I was an assistant coach in the Patriot League, you know, more than 20 years ago. So that's a relationship that goes a long, long way. And it means the world to me. And it's already been obvious over the first 6 weeks here at Elon, the type of man, the type of coach that he is. And you know, I think our ability to work together is going to really be, you know, something that hopefully I can contribute a lot to, but I know I'm going to gain quite a bit.
Eddie was giving us a hard time back at the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament about not having him on the show. He dodged us for a few months, but we finally got him on the program.
Well, like I told John at the PIT, it was this dude's fault.
Wait, you're pointing at him. You mean me?
And I said, Hatfield screwed it up. He's got this person on, that person on. You know, he's trying to get ESPN people and whatever. I said, we got a big-time guy with John. And so, John, I apologize then, apologize now. But we finally got you on, and that's the key.
That is the key. It's an honor for me to be here.
But it took you leaving to get you on. That don't look good on our part.
That's usually how it goes.
Well, and I have to say this. I know to get you on, we were going to get you on yesterday, but you were not out of the country somewhere. So I said to Matt, I said, I hope when we get John on, he's home, relaxed, and not in Afghanistan or Iran, or he's on a ship somewhere with a hat and a gun, helmet and a gun, getting ready to not only recruit but protect himself. So you did assure us you are relaxing at home. And I had to laugh in the coaching vernacular, in your furniture-less home. Here you go from having a palatial mansion in Newport News, and now you're, as an assistant Division I guy, coming in. And we always think about that with the young guys, the grad assistants, living in a hotel room, living in an apartment with one chair, a box for a table, you know, and now, and I'm laughing, I shouldn't be, but here it is, an accomplished veteran such as yourself, unbelievable record, one of those Nintendo game records with over 400 wins and just slightly over 100 losses. But John, it tells me you're willing to do what it takes. And in that, I want us to go back when Matt asked you in December if you could have seen yourself here. You kind of are saying that, yes, I could have. So it tells me, and I know you and I talked earlier, this was on your agenda before you were going to leave coaching to maybe take that step. We'll say up, because even though what you did at D3 level is extremely rare for people to do. But we know, we always say Division I is up here, and here's 2, and here's 3. You knew that you had still had that ambition to coach, head coach Division I. Take us through that mindset. And when it kind of started, what were some of the things you had to do? Because you are older. You knew you're going to have to take a little bit of step back. Family involvement, that graduate assistant, that first year out of college, those guys aren't married. They don't have kids, whatever. Tell us when this all started and what went through your mind.
Yeah. So first, to circle back to the beginning about, you know, kind of the humility of being an assistant again. And, you know, we preach to our players about being good teammates, being humble, not taking anything for granted. And so there is something, I don't know, there's just something that's refreshing about being in that position again and being uncomfortable. You know, coming to Elon, one night I stayed on Coach Taylor's, not his couch, but like his kids' bedroom. I stayed in there for a day or two. They threw me in a hotel one night. I was in a dorm for 4 or 5 weeks. Now I'm in a house that we're renting for a while with no furniture yet. So yeah, I mean, but there's something exciting about that. It brings you back to those days when you were a young assistant coach and just trying to keep the main thing, which is not all this other stuff. It's about, connecting with the players and being in the gym with them. And, I've already been in the gym with our players 4 or 5 weeks. And I've been traveling, as you mentioned, overseas and throughout the country recruiting again, which, hadn't happened in Virginia at CNU. It was very, very much Virginia that we recruited. So it has been, such a time of growth and humility for me, which is exactly what I had hoped. To go to your question, I never cared about level. I don't care about level. I've always just wanted to coach players that want to be in the gym at a place where people care about basketball and care about the right things. And I found all that at CNU, but my background was Division I. How I ended up at Christopher Newport after my 4 years at Merchant Marine was that I had been a finalist for a Division I head coaching job, and I didn't get it. And lucky for me, I got the Christopher Newport job at that time, and our goal was to turn it and make it as Division I like as possible in every way. And thanks to presidents like Paul Tribble and Bill Kelly, and athletic directors like C.J. Woolham and John Waters and Kyle McMullen, and the professionalism of the staff, I think we made it as close to a Division I experience as you can possibly have for our players and for me, which is why I stayed so long. And as we had success every year, there was an opportunity that presented itself. Some that came to fruition, some that didn't, some that I turned down, some that I would have liked and didn't get. But 16 years, I think, I feel like we really put planted the flag in the ground and established something that I'm very proud of. And, timing is everything, so to be able to be in a place as a college basketball coach where your kids go through the school system, my daughters went through the entire Newport News school system. They're both thriving in college now. My 13-year-old son thrived all the way through Newport News through the 8th grade. This will be the first change that anyone's had to make. So just very fortunate to have had that. And then the timing of this particular team last year, I loved our team. It was one of the most enjoyable teams I've ever coached, if not the most enjoyable team I've had to coach. This group, to go to a Final Four with some of the challenges that we faced, some of the holes that maybe we had in terms of, our roster. It was just a whole bunch of guys that cared about the right things, and they battled their way to a Final Four. And it's as special a season as I've ever had. And I couldn't feel better about kind of the way we left it. An old mentor said, you always want to leave it better than you found it, which is not easy to do when you replace C.J. Woolham and you're around all these great coaches at Christopher Newport. But I'm hopeful that maybe we did that a little bit.
John said the big word of timing there, Ed, but he also brought up, and we've broadcasted here on Cove Sports TV. I know it's going to make him smile. His daughter Lily playing field hockey a few years back, and he was pacing the fence there at the Regional Training Center more than he did the sidelines there at CNU.
Hey, still do, Matt. She's my daughter Lily plays club field hockey at the University of Virginia, yeah. And she's a 2-time national champion in club field hockey already, with 2 more years to go. So.
We actually did, I think the year before UVA. I might have missed her championship the last year, but I did a couple, and we broadcast those on Cove Sports TV as well. We can't get Ed out there yet for field hockey just yet. He's already got enough hard times to deal with at Smithfield, trying to get the Packers on the map here to make big noise here this year. But I tell you what, it's impressive. We talked about it with Coach Khan. I mentioned it too, and these Division III coaches like Coach Krikorian. But the background goes before that. You mentioned the Merchant Marine Academy, an assistant coach there at Navy, I think it was, Pennsylvania, Lafayette College, West Virginia Wesleyan, you got to cut your teeth at some of these tough places. And what you did at CNU, it has to be as rewarding as you could have ever imagined, right, when you got there?
Yeah, I mean, it was daunting to come in with, CJ Woolham, whose name is on the court, was my, he hires me and he's my boss with a window overlooking the basketball court. That was a little daunting. How are they going to react to this northerner coming in hot, which I did. And it just was, I couldn't believe the amount of support I got from CJ and the whole Woolham family, as well as everybody in Newport News. There's not many places that you can not only, reach your team and your players and have those relationships, but the relationships that we built in the community, all the way from the mayor's office to the police department, to the juvenile detention, to the elementary schools. Our family felt incredibly connected in that community and will for a long time.
Ed?
John, with all that being said, and I've had a couple people, especially some coaches in the area, say to me, why would Coach K leave CNU with all he has done, still hot, to take an assistant job at Elon? He should be a head coach at a big-time school. And I think, and my response back to him was, it's a process that a lot of people don't understand. You and I touched on it earlier when we talked a couple of weeks ago. If you have an ambition to be a Division I coach, sometimes being as successful as you are at 3 or somebody at 2 or Juke or whatever, to a lot of ADs and some college presidents doesn't mean a lot, because they're going to say, well, what has he done Division I? Our level is much different. He has to recruit differently. The tools he has are different. And I always say, of course they are. They're easier than what a Division III coach has to go through. Much easier. Coach K at Duke, 29 GAs, 82 managers. You guys don't have that in V3. But in your assessment of what you said, hey, I'd like a different challenge, and we assuming that, yes, eventually you want to be a head Division I coach, which we have no doubt you will be. In that mindset, and you already talked about being humble about it, but I think a lot of people don't understand that the way it goes to move up, you almost have to already be there. And I remember saying to you, well, John, you have Division I assistant stuff before, and I remember you said to me, well, Ed, to some people, that's a long time ago. Touch on that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, the landscape is the landscape, and there's a lot of people that, and at times I'm guilty as well of complaining about, hey, there's really good coaches that at every level could do it at a different level or a different place, and they're not given the opportunities just because of, they're at quote unquote lower level. There's a lot of middle school, high school, and grassroots coaches that could coach Christopher Newport far better than I ever did. And they're never going to get the opportunity. It's just the way it is. And so at some point you have to decide, you can either complain about it or you can see it for what it is and, take the step. And, one thing that I'm fairly certain of is that there's a lot I didn't know. I was in Division I, but that was 20 years ago. Now in the new landscape of NIL and the transfer portal, international recruiting, I'd be hesitant to hire me directly from Division III as well. It's not just about the coaching. You have to be able to manage a bigger staff. You have to be able to manage fundraising, NIL money. You have to be able to, and these are all things that you can do, but they don't want someone to learn. There's no time. It's more professional. They don't have 2 or 3 years to work you into the job. They want someone that they believe can come in and turnkey, be ready to go. And I get that. When's the last time, the winningest high school coach in the country got a head Division III job? It doesn't happen. And there's a reason for that. So, I had some opportunities. I felt that I was close. There They didn't pan out, and then the world completely changed with NIL. And there's just so much that I need to learn. I mean, like I told you, in 6 weeks, the growth has been incredible. Things that I thought maybe I knew, I didn't. And so this has been really exciting for me, to be honest. And so, yes, coaching is coaching. There's a lot of good coaches at every level, as I mentioned. But there's more to the job. And this, I think part of life is you have to figure out what the decision makers are looking for, what's important to them. And then it's up to us to put ourselves in a position to be attractive candidates, not convince them they should change their outlooks.
427 wins at the helm of Christopher Newport University, a 2003 Division III National Championship, 12 NCAA tournament appearances as well. And he's headed to Elon as an assistant coach. John Krikorian, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. And Coach, I know, Ed, every time people ask about what is your partner's most proudest accomplishment, was it this state title? Or he always talks about it's the people that have come from his program that are productive citizens in life, the ones that are playing pro ball overseas, good fathers, good husbands, doing things in the community. I know that's true for you. As excited as you are for this opportunity at Elon, you got guys like the Marcus Carters of the world at Cosby, the Logan Millers of the world at Highland that are head coaches, and a guy in J.D. Dyson, who's now the head coach at CNU. How thrilled were you for him to get the opportunity to come from your staff and get the job at CNU, which was a coveted job, and you helped elevate the program?
Yeah, you guys, can you hear me? You good?
Yeah, we got you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, you glitched on me a little bit there.
Okay.
No, I mean, you nailed it. I've always been somebody that's really valued the coaching relationships. We have a number of guys that coached with us that are high school coaches, that are college coaches. We have Division I assistant coaches. We have players that are coaching. And I love that in some way I was able to help and impact that journey, because Coach Donahue, Coach Dunphy, Coach O'Hanlon, those guys did it for me. And I couldn't feel better about Coach Dyson's opportunity at Christopher Newport. I think he's going to crush it. And I've told people in no uncertain terms that I think those players are going to thrive under his leadership in a way that is probably important. We had such a, other than Colin Hines, the entire team comes back, and had I stayed at the helm, it would have been great. I love those guys. We would have had some fun and won some games, but I think a new voice and a new energy with that group could go a long way. And so I'm excited. He's more than deserving. He's a terrific basketball mind, and more importantly, a better human being. And I really believe CNU is going to thrive under his leadership.
Ed?
Sorry about that last statement. My dog went nuts because we had somebody knocking John. So it's just, my guard dog is always ready. He protects me better than this knucklehead does.
Doesn't give him enough treats, John. I mean, what do you expect?
I mean,
we go out and cover a game, and we're in some hellacious places like in Northern Virginia, and dudes come up to us like they want our money. I turn around and see he's helping me. He's running faster down the road than any dog. So Hatfield's unbelievable. People think he's a good dude. He's not. John, you touched on something that I think is maybe in this day and age of moving around, what's in it for me, give me money. I think one of your greatest accomplishments is your kids stuck around. And I'm sure they had opportunities to move on. You're successful. You're in the playoffs almost every single year, national championship level program. So I would expect your guys to be gone in this day and age. They're going to go. Not against you and your staff. It's just the lay of the land now. But you're able to retain almost all of your guys. To me, that says relationship. That says that has a lot to do with a head coach. You just don't see that anywhere at any level. Speak to that on your relationship-based program.
Yeah, thanks for taking that. I am proud of that. That is really important, and has been really important to me for a long time, that we're recruiting the right guys that are at CNU for the right reasons. And I felt that if you did that, the rest would take care of itself. And, my goal has always been to foster an environment where the players could really bond. And this experience that we just went through over the last 2 months really solidified that for me. Those players didn't come to CNU because of me. They didn't come because, Coach K was at the helm. Maybe that had something to do with it, but they stayed because of each other. And that's all I've ever wanted to do, because I have great relationships with my high school and college teammates, and that's the most important thing for me, is that I'm fostering and I'm putting in place an environment where these guys have that love of each other. And the fact that they all stayed in my absence, it just really makes me feel good about that we did it the right way, that those were the right guys to do it with. And certainly, Christopher Newport University and what has been built and the opportunities that exist there, socially and academically, cannot be understated. I mean, these are student athletes at Division III, and that is first and foremost. But you do see in this day and age, basketball players walking away from those types of opportunities just because of basketball, and we didn't have that, not recently anyway, and I feel really good about that.
Last one for me, Coach. I'm sure Ed will finish up with a follow-up or two. It's sort of a two-part question. A, what do you tell a young guy who's getting into the profession? We mentioned some of the young guys like the Dysons, the Millers, the Carters of the world. What do you tell them as they embark on their coaching journeys, whatever level it might be? It can be high school, college, pro, you name it, assistant, head coach. And then for you, too, how have you adapted, adjusted, and evolved to the changing times in college basketball as you now go from a different level, Division III, as that man in charge, to a Division I assistant? How are you? I guess we're all constantly adapting and adjusting to the world we live in with social media and everything, but how are you adapting? And then what do you tell the young people that are getting into the profession that you've been in here for pretty much your whole life?
Yeah, this is one of the hardest things. And first and foremost is you have to be true to yourself. You have to be authentic. I don't, those that play for me or know me, they know I'm going to tell it like it is. And, some people like that and appreciate that. Maybe some people don't, but that's just me. But that's not every coach. Some coaches have a great way about relationships that is much different than me, and the way that they communicate. So you have to be true to yourself. At the same time, you have to, as you mentioned, you have to get out of your comfort zone too. So that's the balance that can be hard. Is how do you stay true to yourself yet evolve with the times, and put yourself in a position where you have to learn and grow and be a little bit uncomfortable, and that's not easy to do. But I think if you can first and foremost be true to yourself, your values, who you are, surrounding yourself with people that are going to lift you up in terms of your assistant coaches and your staff, but also can challenge you, to make you a little bit uncomfortable, I think is really important. Your staff is, I mean, we accomplish nothing without our staff. Coach Roland Ross has been steadfast at Christopher Newport. So it's no surprise, all the winning and all the relationships and all the greatness on and off the court. There's been one constant, and that's Roland Ross. And the best decision I ever made was making sure he stayed around. And then we've had a number of other young guys, as you mentioned, like Jaron Dyson, like Dominic Parker, like Sean Foley and Logan Miller, and I mean, there's so many more assistant coaches that have come through and lifted the program. And I think that can't be understated. Who you surround yourself with on your staff is who you're going to be with every day. It's really, really important. And my advice to anybody is take your time, get that right. make sure there's a level of trust, and that's that's a critical piece of the puzzle there, Matt.
Well, I know you love that answer there, Ed, because there's a lot of real and a lot of not real and phony and fake, and John's authentic, and that separates sometimes the guys that do it the right way and get it done and the ones that don't last in the business too long, right, Coach?
Well, there's no question. At his level, at John's level, you don't do what he did, smoking mirrors and being fake. It's that simple. I always got a kick it. We come to his camp. I'd ask his players, who I'll be running the scoreboard, hey man, come here. What's Coach K like in practice? He goes nuts, don't he? He gets mad. They don't want to say nothing. They're like looking around for. I said, Coach ain't here. He ain't gonna say nothing. He's in his down time of the summer. He's okay. He's wearing sandals. He's all right. He gets mad, don't he? Yeah, sometimes he get real red. I started laughing. I said, so he just gets red. He said, yeah, when he gets mad, boy, we know. I said, hey man, just tell him the next time he talks, hey Coach, we're just college kids. We'll get it right. Can we go to Burger King now?
I'm sure you like that with your kids too, right? That's how you are, right?
I'm calm in practice.
Oh yeah, really? Okay.
I'm calm in practice. But John, you mentioned Roland Ross. I just talked to Roland down at Matt and I were talking to him at East Coast Live, and I said, "Well, we're losing him, huh?" And man, Roland looked at me. I thought he's going to start tearing up. He said, "Man, it's a great opportunity for him." He said, "He's going to be sorely missed." That man taught me a lot. Was faithful for me, gave me the reins on a lot of things. He spoke extremely highly of you, which I didn't think of anything different. And you're right. I always like to kid with Roland. If you look in the archives somewhere, there's a picture of him handing one of the Masons the first brick they put on CNU. Back then it was CNC. He was handing a brick to build a damn place. So Roland's been around forever, and he's another guy that's needed, and he's excited about Dyson coming in too. So I understand that relationship, and always a mark of good coaches. And this is one thing I felt good about myself. I have a lot of my former assistants have become head high school coach, couple gone to college level. That your guys do move on, and a lot of your younger guys have done that, and gone to the Division I level, as you mentioned earlier. That does not happen a whole lot at Division III. It just doesn't. And again, that takes a lot of work on your part. It doesn't just happen. Because you got to sell guys to people. You got to put them out there. You got to give them some of that work to do. So I think another credit to you, other than retaining your players, is having the ability to move your guys on, your assistants on. And again, the great job you and Roland did together. I'm going to miss that connection. I mean, we'll see Roland, but I'm going to miss that connection with you two guys there, because I thought you were tremendous together.
Yeah, I'm going to miss that dude for sure. And we talk a lot, and I don't know that I would have had the confidence to make this move if not for some conversations that I had with him. He's so just wise and grounded. He really. You can say this about people, but I don't know that there's anybody I've ever met that's truly put other people ahead of himself to the level that Roland Ross does on a regular basis. That's a powerful thing. Really, if I can do that half as much as him, I will have accomplished a great deal in this life.
Well put. Well, the new
my last thing, if I can, Matt,
sure.
John. And Matt and I talk about this a lot. We recently had the head coach from Mary Washington won the national title.
Coach Kahn.
Division III basketball in Virginia has exploded. National championships all over the place. Final Fours, Sweet 16s. You're a big part of that, or you're a big reason of that. Dave Macedo, you two guys had one, a heck of a beautiful rivalry and a game. You cannot miss it. You had to be there live every year. Josh Merkel up there, Randolph-Macon. So many other guys in Division III. And again, you're a big part of that. And again, I say this as a high school coach. Division III basketball is the hardest level of college basketball to coach. Division I is the easiest. Has the most pressure maybe, but it's the easiest because of what they give you. Division III, half the damn time you got to sweep the floor and turn the lights out. I don't know Division I guys doing that. But what do you see as the spark in Division III basketball here in Virginia that, in our minds, Matt and I's mind, we could be best in the country? At one time, Wisconsin was up there. I got to believe Virginia's right there now.
I agree with you. I think over the last decade, Virginia has dominated the men's basketball scene, and it's been really cool to have those rivalries that have turned into friendships. Dave Macedo, Josh Merkel, Marcus Kahn, Clay Nunley. I mean, these guys are friends. They're guys that we competed against each other fiercely, but we respected each other, and friendships came from that. And that's really a special thing in sport. In the state of Virginia, for basketball in Division III, it's as the bar was raised. You know, you could say who started it, but I mean, we didn't start it. You know, the guys like Hal Nunley at Randolph-Macon and C.J. Woolham, and you know, the guys at Virginia Wesley. I mean, they kind of started it, and then, you know, over the last decade, the foundation took off and exploded into national championships and national championship teams and Final Four teams. And I do think that if I'm an athlete, if I'm a player in the state of Virginia and I am not on track to be a Division I scholarship athlete, I don't think you can do better than to play Division III basketball in the state of Virginia. It's meaningful. People come to the games. It matters. You're going to play games that are going to put you on the map nationally. So, you know, there's other levels that you can play and other opportunities that you can look for, but I can't think outside of, you know, a legitimate Division I scholarship level, a better situation than playing your college basketball at one of those schools in the state of Virginia. I'm a little biased to Christopher Newport. So anyone watching, start your search there, because you step on that campus, you won't go anywhere else. But it's wonderful. And, you know, I wouldn't, you know, I can't get off of this thing without making sure we talk a little bit about Elon University, because, you know, I don't know how many people know this, but, you know, when I ran into Paul Tribble a couple of weeks ago, I didn't realize that in the early days of them building Christopher Newport University into what it is now, Elon University was kind of the school that they wanted to model it after. And in many ways, you can see it, the similarities. 7,000 students is an absolutely beautiful school, elite academics. We got, I think, the best facilities in the CAA. Beautiful 5,000 seat arena with the biggest video board in the state of North Carolina at any level. It's a beautiful place, and we haven't had a ton of Virginia kids. And so come on, man, give me a call. Come on down. Because, you know, I didn't come on down to Elon to, you know, to finish in last place. Like we're trying to do some things, and they got the right guy at the helm and Billy Taylor, and we got a great staff. I'll tell you the one thing that has been a little more rewarding, and I didn't totally anticipate it, although I was hoping for it, is for 20 years, and you know this, Ed, being a head coach, everything falls on your desk. And you're not really on the team. You're kind of leading the team all the time, and that's a different type of daily grind. It's been really fun to be on a team. We got a great staff, experienced, good guys. And it's fun to come in the office with 5 or 6 professionals and go around the room and solve some problems and figure some things out, and maybe get after each other and challenge each other a little bit, and try to come up with some ways to help move the thing forward. It's pretty fun.
Fun times ahead for the Phoenix of Elon, with John Krikorian as an assistant coach there with Coach Taylor. And, oh, by the way, some CA rivalries with some Commonwealth teams like Hampton University and William & Mary, too. All the best to you on this new opportunity, this new part of the journey for you. And we thank you so much for all the great times we've had, even going back to that championship. Going to shave the head, get an earring, Ed with a tattoo. Will he do it if it's a state championship? All those things. I'm sure we'll have future things like that when you get you back on the program. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Definitely keep in touch, and we'll talk down the road.
Wait. I got to interrupt you on this tattoo thing I heard. What is this? Ed Young's going to get a tattoo with a state championship?
We tried that a few years back, and he came close to winning a state championship. I had his kids motivated, but it's all Ed's fault. They didn't do it. It's his fault.
John, this dude here, John, he'll come up with, hey, how about this? If you do this, then you got to run naked down the
I don't say naked. Keep your clothes on, please.
You got to shave your head.
Please.
You got to put it. You got to get an earring. I'm like, what is this infatuation with me? Got to do something. You go do something. Why is it Ed Young got to do something? Yeah. He comes up with
your kids don't get motivated for that. They see you do something, they get motivated. As John Wells knows with a championship, you got to put the coach on the griddle, right?
But John has to look. John has to look to have the earring, the tattoo.
Oh, I'm not that. I don't know that is a compliment there, Ed. That's some kind of backhanded compliment.
I know, right?
You're the college guy. You're smoother. You got the swag.
Okay.
I'm on the other side.
Yeah. Those red and blue suits, no swag to them at all. No swag with those suits.
Yeah, right? No.
It won't be long. I'll be assistant coach for Jesus. So I got to just at least I hope it's Jesus, not the other guy.
Yeah, you better hope it's him.
The other guy, there's no way, guys. It was hot as hell in that gym.
Yeah. No
but John, as a high school coach that dealt with you along those lines too, I hate to see you go. And yes, it made me mad. I'm selfish. I like good people around me. I like people around me I can learn from. It's a joy to watch your teams talk every time I go over there. You're gracious enough to come over and talk to me, my players, whatever. I'm going to miss that. My big hope somewhere down the line before I'm done, maybe I get a kid to play at Elon with you, or when you do get that number one seat, that they'll come to where you're at. Just understand, my friend, I echo what a lot of high school coaches in this area either have said it out loud or haven't said it out loud. You're going to be sorely missed because you were very important to high school basketball in this area.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Matt. You guys always treated me right and treated my guys right. And the start of another journey here. So the beauty about the world today is, look, we're here on Zoom. We're practically hanging out at Boo Williams together. Yep. And I'll never forget one of my first days on the job. CJ said, you got to get together with Boo Williams. So Boo took me down to the restaurant there on I think it's Big Bethel Road, and man, just I'll never forget that. One of the first guys I met, Ben Moore, CJ hooked us up. Coach Ross brought me over there to like a 7-Eleven, and then we got to be pretty close, and just such good people, such love and passion for the game of basketball in the 757. That doesn't exist everywhere. It's a special place. It always will be. And you never know. Maybe someday I'll be back.
Never know. So true.
I'll vote for that. We got some Division I teams in the state, so I'll vote for that.
John Krikorian, now an assistant coach at Elon after a great deal of success, national championship, Final Fours, tons of victories at CNU with us here on 757 Sports Talk. It's Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and always subscribe and keep it tuned.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
All right, here with new Booker T. Washington Booker's head football coach Mike Privott as he gets ready for the 2026 campaign. You're still in your hometown of Norfolk. You played at Lake Taylor, was an all-state performer, and you've won 3 state titles in a row at Maury as the defensive coordinator. Now you're the head coach in your first season. Mm-hmm. How does it feel as we're getting closer to game number 1 for you?
It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. A lot more than I expected. As far as now being the whole shot caller, that my words, everything to the program. So it's at times overwhelming, but like I say I love doing this. So I feel good where I'm at right now with this program.
watching your kids compete here in a 7-on-7, and it is 7-on-7. I know you like the stuff with more of the helmet and the pads, but it feels like there's a good energy and enthusiasm. Is that what you want to do to kind of build the culture? Because they have fallen on hard times at Booker T, 11 straight losses, but Booker T's had athletes in the past. Just go back to the NFL's all-time sack leader, Bruce Smith, right?
Yes, it is. I think that right now these guys as coaches, man, my coaches, I tell them all the time, we got to coach at a high level. All right, don't leave nothing unturned. We can't assume a kid know anything. Let's make sure he understands the details. We ask from them all the time. So we put a lot of time in. We go from 2 to 7 every day, Monday through Thursday, putting the time in with the kids. They're lifting, they're running, they're practicing. So we got the blueprint. I was all at Moy, so we know what to expect. Got the same regimen we had at Moy, so it didn't change. So we're doing the right things and see on the field.
It feels like you coach the way you played as an Energizer Bunny for Coach Sawyer, then went on the Louisville, Norfolk State, and you want to have that constant communication, just that energy that tires out the opponent. Is that kind of your plan of attack?
Like I said, we all on the same page. Even we wrong, we on the same page, we can be right. Because all my guys are the same as that page.
Right.
Like I said, we confident in something, you're going to play fast. We're confident. When you're not confident, you play a little slow. So I think we got to talk and play with confidence, man.
Sure.
Get lined up, all right, and get to the ball. So we want to run.
I know things that will certainly be points of emphasis will be discipline and how you handle adversity, which we'll see how that all unfolds as the season goes into September, October, November. But I am seeing some playmakers emerge. It looks like you have speed and athletes, and one guy that caught my eye was Kelvin Battle. He looks like he's going to be a two-way guy for you, right?
Yes, he's a senior. He's about 6'1", about 190 right now. Last year, he played QB last year.
Okay.
So he didn't see him receiver, so now he's playing receiver. So I want people to put him and make plays for these college coaches, man. Let him be seen. Let them know we got a guy or three that can play at that level. So hopefully he becomes, they understand he's the guy. He's a senior, and we expect big things from that guy. So he's been putting the work in. Every day he's there. He leads by example. So I'm proud of that kid so far.
Come on, for you. What have you liked most so far in the summer months? I guess you could say spring into summer. And then to follow it up, what do you have to get better at before game one? You got a couple of scrimmages. What do you have to clean up as you get ready for the journey?
Right now, I'm liking the fact that kids aren't quitting. They come in every day. It's been hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. We put do a lot of gauntlet stuff and a lot of things that people might quit, and they've been coming back every day and be consistent. The one thing is the numbers. We got to go to the program. Right now we got sitting probably 32 kids, and we need more kids in the program. So hopefully the word get out that we got good staff and good players, kids who are zoned for Booker T, coming to Booker T. So hopefully we get that back with numbers to get going for the season.
And just also, and to follow up on that, just kind of get that depth for those guys to understand the scheme and system, which takes some time in year one for you as a coach.
Yeah, I think that right now they're still trying to learn a complex system on one side, two sides of the ball. So they're getting it day by day, but it's a process. They're learning how to play football. We're teaching them football, context, terminology, formation. So they understand when they leave us with a college, they know the basic terminology of football.
Sure.
So pretty good about that right now.
Lastly, everybody has goals. They say we want to win a state championship or go undefeated or win this many games for you. What would be a successful season for you, and how are you going to view what you want this identity of this football program to be as you begin things in year one?
I want to make the playoffs in year one, and that's myself. I don't want to sell my team short. They put a lot of work in, and I expect to be in the playoffs in year one. I think we have enough guys and coaches to get us there. I mean, all my coaches, most of them came winning programs, and we know how to get there. So I expect to be there come November. So last time we got 10 out of our belt, and hopefully we've been better than we was in week 1 to week 11, and hopefully we make a little run, but I expect to be in the playoffs with year one.
Coach Privott, the Bookers aiming for postseason fun. Thank you so much. We look forward to the journey.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
A lot of people are flying this time of year in the summer. Not me. I'm here in the pool for joke time. And I love telling airport jokes. My doctor says it's a terminal problem.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Yes, we go from one new head football coach to another on 757 Sports Talk as hour 2 now comes your way. You also heard from John Krikorian, new assistant basketball coach at Elon, formerly the head man at Christopher Newport University. With the coach, Ed Young, I am Matthew Hatfield, and Ed, at this time we are pleased to be joined by a special guest. He is in year 1 at the helm of the Menchville Monarchs, but he's no stranger to the 757. He's coached before in the Bay Rivers, in the Menchville District. His pop's an administrator for a lot of years in Hampton Roads as well. We say hello and congrats to Brent Ashley. Coach, how are you today?
Doing well, gentlemen. How are y'all doing this morning?
We're doing great.
Good to have you, Brent.
And I said congratulations because not only are you the new head coach, but I understand that you just got engaged. Is that true?
I did actually. What is about a month since I got engaged? So yeah, thank you very much.
Awesome. What's the big date? Are you allowed to say?
I can't say yet. That we got we got to wait for that to be finalized, but that'll be coming soon. So
Good deal. Well, get ready, excited for that. Also, year one at the helm of the Menchville Monarchs. We'll get into your background here in a moment, but first off, what drew you to the situation at Menchville in Newport News? It's a program that's had some ups and downs a little bit. They've had success in a lot of other sports, but I know you have some big visions and goals ahead for this team here in 2026.
yeah, and growing up in the area, I'm a York alum. My dad was the football coach at York before he became the AD. Had some family that went to Menchville for a good while, and I've always thought Menchville, if done the right way, could be a very, very successful program, and it'd be a really good place to build. And when the opportunity presented itself, it was something I wanted to jump on, and I took a leap and wanted to be a head football coach again, and here we are.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Now, for you, as you go into this situation here at Menchville in 2026, it feels like this is a year too with a lot of transition in the Peninsula District. We know about all the years of Hampton and Phoebus being dominant, Phoebus having a coaching change as well. Did you feel like, and a lot of coaches say this, we had it started with Coach Krikorian on the basketball front of things, and Ed knows this with his situation coming back into coaching last year. Timing is everything. The timing was right to take this situation, not so much just the job, but the timing was a key part of it.
Yeah, it was. And I think part of it was, ever since I left Tab as the head coach, I've always wanted to be a head football coach again. And I think with the timing being right and the opportunity there, I think it was the right time to take it, and kind of you talked about how there's been some transition and some movement in the Peninsula District. I really think this year upcoming will probably be the most competitive the district's been in a while. I know past 5 years has probably been a little top heavy, but I think I wouldn't say even the playing field, but I think there's going to be a lot of competitiveness this year than it has been the past few years. You look at Denby. Denby is a good football team now. Kigatan, Coach James has done a good job there getting them competitive. So I think we're going to see a lot more competitive games this year, and I'm excited about that.
I think he's spot on, Ed, because it felt like for a couple of years there it was Phoebus Warwick. It used to be Phoebus Hampton, but Hampton had to come up last year. Bethel seems to be on the rise. So, Coach Young, our predictions might not be as easy as Coach Ashley hopes to be getting some W's, and you not pick the Monarchs because you're the bad juju and jinx over there, Coach.
Right, absolutely.
Ed?
Hey, Coach, congrats on the position. 2 quick questions. Number one, does she know before she said yes that what it all entails as a head football coach, that you might see her a couple hours a week, and maybe she's okay with that, and that's why she said yes. That's number one. Number two, can you go over your background from your high school days as a student, player, college, all your coaching positions right up to the Menchville gig?
Absolutely. It's funny, and I think she's listening to this right now at work, but she didn't grow up with an athletic background, athletic family like I did. My dad being a football coach for most of his life before I was born, and then eventually the athletic director. It was kind of what I grew up in. It was what we were used to, because we were always used to, like, June and July, that was our vacation time. And then when August hit, that was football time. So when I was a player, it was just same old. So trying to get her used to that. And it was funny. She made a comment. She was like, well, can we take this vacation in August? I was like, honey, we can't do that because that's when season starts and I'll be busy during that time. She's like, so you mean to tell me that the whole month of August, for the rest of our lives, we're not going to be able to do anything? I was like, yeah, kind of. But I think she's getting used to it. My mom, her kind of going through with my dad, I think she's talked to her a little bit. But, she's embracing, just getting her used to it. And so a little bit about my background. I'll kind of start from when I was a young child. Going back, my dad, he was the head football coach at York when I was born, and was raised, grew up on the sideline, being the little tiny ball boy, me and my brother running around on Friday nights at York High School, and then eventually transitioned, and I played at York. My dad was the athletic director during that time, thank God, because if he was my coach, I don't know how I would have been able to handle that. But, it was fun with him being the athletic director. And then after I graduated high school, I went to Old Dominion. I was there for 5 years. I was a student assistant under Coach Bobby Wilder. After I left there, I went to UNC Charlotte as a graduate assistant with Will Healy for a couple years. And then I came back to this area when I was hired to be the head football coach at Tabb High School at the whopping age of 24, which I do not recommend for all my coaches out there. Try to be a little more older and experienced when you take a job like that. Was there for 2 years. Got out of that, went to Kecoughtan for a year as offensive coordinator. Then I was at Woodside for 2 years as an offensive coordinator. Now here I am as the head football coach at Menchville High School.
You can relate, Ed, because he said first head coaching job 24 at Tabb. What was your age if you're allowed to divulge at Suffolk High back in those days in the 80s? Are you allowed to divulge that, Coach?
Well, I remember coaching when I was in college at age 19 with a middle school program. But at Suffolk was my first head varsity job. I think I was 26.
You're close, okay.
Yeah, so it's close. But and Brent, now you grew up in that football background. I'm going to guess you got a lot of your philosophy from your dad. Things to do, things not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, who else has really influenced in you putting your philosophy together as a head football coach now?
Well, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, a lot of what I believe in, a lot of how I do things, and a lot of my mannerisms are just like how my father did, growing up, learning from him. I mean, schemes, philosophies, how you do things the right way. And then, of course, seeing him as an athletic director, I learned a lot of that from him and from the admin side as well. When I became a head football coach, I leaned on him a lot. He was still the AD at York my 2 years at Tabb, and I would lean on him a lot, just talk to him. And kind of the cool thing about him, he's retired now, is he's actually going to be on staff with me at Menchville. So that's something that we're excited about. My brother's going to be coaching with us too. So it's cool. It's one whole big family affair. My mom's going to be involved. My fiance is going to be involved. So that's going to be cool. But to kind of talk about people who've also I've kind of learned from and grown as a coach from a philosophical standpoint. I know Coach Bobby Wilder, I mean, just from administrative standpoint and organization standpoint, I learned a lot from him. I mean, he was a really good coach. He was structured, and I got a lot of that from him, and then Charles Bankins, who I was a student assistant for and a GA for a long period of time. I mean, I got to thank him a lot because, he has the experience. I mean, he's coaching the ACC, the SEC. I mean, he's been around pro programs, and I learned a tremendous amount from him, especially from the special teams background. I mean, when you're a special teams coach at the next level, I mean, you have to be extremely organized. You can't just be organized. You have to be extremely organized. So a lot of the structure there, a lot of the background there, that helped me grow a lot into kind of who I am now, is just being just extremely detailed, extremely organized to the T, just how things are put together and how things are done, how things are structured, and how you don't waste one single minute at all, whether it's practice, film, weight room, coaches meetings with the players. I mean, that's kind of grown a lot of me. And then Coach Will Healy, I mean, the head coach when I was at UNC Charlotte, he was very big on family. That's one thing we talk a lot about with college coaches is it can be pretty hard depending on who your head coach is, whether you'll have a lot of family time or you won't have a lot of family time. You got those horror stories about people who be in the office till 2, 3 in the morning. And then you got those coaches who are like, look, if you're done, go spend time with your family. And Will Healy was very family oriented. He was very big about culture, on how to build cultures and how to establish culture. And that's one of his biggest things he did as a head coach when I was at UNC Charlotte. And I learned a lot from him, a lot of the things he did. And I implemented a lot of that stuff when I was at Tabb. And that's something I'm doing now at Menchville as far as building and establishing a culture and laying a good solid foundation, where now all we got to do is, once that foundation is laid, you build up.
First 2 games for Brent Ashley and the Menchville Monarchs in 2026 against John Marshall in Southampton. And they take on Hampton in their Peninsula District opener on September 12th. Coach Ashley, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe, Ed.
Coach, also staff. I'm assuming you have your staff together, maybe still putting a few more wrinkles on it. You mentioned about your dad being on staff. Are you at liberty to mention any other names that you have, especially coordinators?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mentioned my dad, you know, he's going to be a big part of what we do offensively. My brother being the special teams coordinator, he was a long snapper at Bridgewater College. He was a first team All-American as a long snapper. So having them around, obviously, not only just from the family side of things, but just from the experience, you know, just all my dad's experience, especially being a successful head football coach and an athletic director, just the admin and the coach being there. I mean, that helps with the staff. Brings the staff together. Coach William Yarborough, he is going to be my defensive coordinator. He played at Virginia Tech under Bud Foster. He was a safety there for them, so he's going to be our defensive coordinator. He's coached at Woodside for, I believe, the past 3 to 4 years and was at Hampton before that. Played for Coach Bill Lyons at Warwick back in the day. So very good coach, and it also not just a good coach, he's a really good teacher, and he's an exceptional man. You know, he's someone who's a very good leader of young men. I mean, he's also a teacher as well. So having him on staff, I mean, he was one of the first people I called, and he jumped on board as soon as I texted him. So having him around on the defensive side is going to be huge. Terrence Jones, who's one of the best defensive line coaches in the 7-5-7. I mean, having him on staff with the D-line and having them work with the defense and getting that things together, I mean, it's been great, you know. And I got a strength and conditioning coach, Kerry Jones. He does a phenomenal job with the leadership training, things like that, just building the kids up. So we got a really good staff, you know, and I'll put our staff up against anybody, especially with just experience. And the great thing is with our staff meetings we have now, I mean, every time we get in a staff meeting, we talk about things. I mean, we're all together, you know, having a group of guys together on board about what we're doing schematically, how we're running practice, what we're doing with certain kids and certain personnel things. I mean, it's been fun, and I'm really excited to jump into this in August and then the fall with game planning, because I think we have a good group of guys that work well together. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about the staff we have.
Yeah, continuity matters for sure. A few more minutes with you, Coach. We appreciate the time here. When I think of Menchville football, the first thing that pops in my head is Clifton Richardson. You remember him from back in the day.
Yeah.
Liberty. I don't know if you have any current Clifton Richardsons on this Menchville football roster, but give us a few names we should watch out for, be it offensively, defensively, what it's going to look like for the group.
Few people I definitely want to mention. You know, we look at the quarterback position. I mean, we're going to have a quarterback battle on our hand, but right now I think rising senior Chase Janis is probably going to take the helm of that. He was a starter back as a sophomore for Menchville, and I think he played a little on varsity as a freshman, I believe. And he's a really good leader. The kids kind of revolve around him. They take under his leadership pretty well. Cameron Drew, we're expecting him to be really good for us as a running back, relying on him. A lineman that we have that I definitely want to put out there, Michael Brown Cabrera. He's going to be good. He's a name no one really knows about, but he's someone that's going to fly on the radar. When you see him in person, he passes the eye test. But he's a rising senior. He's probably going to be either our left tackle or left guard, depending on how things shake out. So he's someone to keep an eye out for. Tobias Alston, our starting tight end, he's someone we're going to be relying a lot in the pass game and then blocking on the edge. A few things, Michael Page, running back, linebacker, Rakeem Foster's a receiver and DB, JaVale Darden as a safety. So we have a few kids. We have a good nucleus of kids, good group of rising seniors. We have another lineman, Dennis Redley. He'll be a rising junior. He's someone I'm really excited about. So we got some good groups of kids. Some young kids, probably going to have a few freshmen, a few sophomore that are going to be sprinkled in there that are going to get some reps for us, but we got a good nucleus. And I think one thing I will say about our kids is we have a good group of kids, you know, of good kids. So they come to work every day. Right now, our summer schedule will go Monday, Wednesdays in the late afternoon and Tuesday, Thursdays in the morning. And you see the same kids showing up each and every day, and they're working their butts off. And I can't really ask more of them, and they're getting better each and every day, and they're taking the coaching well. That's one thing when you come in as a brand new football coach, when you're doing new things, new schemes, new ways of doing things. You know, back in the spring and March when we jumped in the weight room, everything was brand new to them and they embraced it, and hats off to them. You know, sometimes some players will be a little kind of iffy about this and that because it's different. A lot of them have been doing the same thing for 2 years. So they've embraced it. They embraced the change, and they've kind of jumped right into it, and I couldn't be more happier.
And they're not that far removed from success. And they've only made the playoffs 2 times in 36 years, but 4 consecutive trips there from 2021 to 2024 and advanced in 2022. So it's not like it's starting over from complete scratch for him, Coach.
No, not at all. And growing up in this area, being the Bay Rivers, the Peninsula District, Menchville's always kind of looked at that program that's kind of stagnant, is usually losing season. But, like you said, when Coach Taylor was there the past 4 to 5 years, they had your 5-5, your 6-4 seasons going into the playoffs. So success is there. It's there. It's in the building. It's just being consistent, and building it up and getting the kids to believe in it, that they can be a winning program year in, year out, and we're not going to be able to go 10-0 and win a state championship in year one. It's a process, and I tell the kids every day, we talk about this at the end of every single practice, process, the definition of process is consistent actions towards a result. That's what I preach to the kids all the time. So it's going to be a process. We're not going to be a finished product probably till game 2, game 3. So they just got to believe and continue to work with the process and just be consistent. So if we're consistently getting better each and every day, we're getting better each and every day as a team. So I fully believe that we're on the right track right now. Right now, summer's workouts have been great. I couldn't have been more happier with how things are going. So like I said, we keep this rate up and we keep building. Come July 30th, I think we're going to be in a really good position to be a good team in the Peninsula District.
Terrific. Ed, final words?
Yeah, I have a question that I always want to get from coaches. Coach, when you put your squads together, your offense, defense, special teams, what's your philosophy in we put the best kid on the field as much as possible, or do we try to develop enough players where you pretty much the same players aren't playing a whole lot, offense and defense, or even special teams? A lot of coaches have their best kid on all 3. And some people have their quarterback as a defensive back or safety. One of the team, I think it was Lafayette, their quarterback was their leading tackler on defense at linebacker. Mm-hmm. I'm always interested on coaches too. What's your philosophy on that? I know you want quality on the field, but I always come back and say, but the more you play your best kids, aren't they more susceptible to injury, getting tired, or whatever? But what's your philosophy on that?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Everyone always says you want your best 11 on the field. And situationally, yes, you want your best players in the biggest situations, in the most serious situations, so you can handle those things. But I've also been a believer that we want to get more kids playing. Like I mentioned, how we're going to have a few sophomores and freshmen sprinkled in there playing. Like Cameron Drew, one of the players I just talked about, not only is he going to be one of our starting running backs, he's also projected to be one of our starting linebackers. So we don't want to beat a kid up to the point where they're sore, they're tired. We got a whole stable of running backs. We got some juniors, we got some sophomores, and we got a freshman right now I'm excited about that we're planning on giving them some carries. So I'm always big about spreading the wealth if they earn it. I don't want to spread the wealth just to say we spread the wealth. We got kids that are in there busting their butts. They go in, they're on the scout team, they get rotated in that second, third team of offense. We're going to rotate them in. We're going to give them their chance. And if they know the plays, they know what they're supposed to do, they're reliable, we're going to get them in there. I told someone the other day, I think probably a couple of months ago, someone's talking to me about the same question about my philosophy. I'm not afraid to play a freshman. If we have a freshman that we believe is ready to get varsity reps and go out there and give us what we needed, whether it's defense or offense, if we got one guy, 2 guys that need a blow come out and we feel like that's the next person, next best guy up, we'll put them out there, get their feet wet, get them some experience, and like I said, we're going to be a pretty heavy run team that sets up the play action pass downfield. So I like to play people who deserve to play. And if they've been busting their butts, working at practice, they're going to touch the rock. They're going to get their touches. They're going to get their carries. So like you said, I don't want to wear everyone down. You know, football is a very long, strenuous game. You know, I'm big on keeping the offensive line consistent. You know, you always want that same 5 guys out there. Ideally, you want the same 5 guys that start the season, finish the season. That's one thing I was lucky at when I was the head coach at TAB my first year is that starting 5 we had our very first game ended the starting 5 in that very last playoff game against Phoebus my first year. But with the defensive line, you can rotate guys out because we're going to have some guys who are going to start on O-line that are going to be starters on the defensive line. And when you take your blow, we feel like we got some good depth right now on the defensive line where we're going to rotate them in and out and be productive for us. So we want to play kids at Menchville. We want to play kids. So if the kid's deserving, working his butt off, he's going to get reps. So I think the more kids you play, also when you're building a program, you're trying to get more kids to come out, they can see like, all right, they're playing all these kids. So if I come out there and I work my butt off and get better in my position, then I can also get reps and get playing time. So that's all about building the culture and building the community within the school to help build up numbers in the program too. So I think that's important.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense having that camaraderie and also the depth that matters as you go through the rigors of a long season. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Well, we look forward to following the journey of the 2026 Monarchs under Brent Ashley's direction. Of course, it's a family affair with his brother involved, his pops John, too, on the staff there, too, longtime coach, administrator in the 757, his mom, soon-to-be wife. It'll be fun times getting going here in August with a couple of scrimmages against Bay River schools in York and Lafayette, I believe, before that opener against John Marshall, the Justices on the gridiron. We thank you for the time this morning. Wish you all the best. Have a great weekend. I'm sure we'll be talking down the road.
And before we let him go, Brent, being the oldster that I am, I got to give you young buck football coaches some advice. Those that have taken it have done well. Those that haven't have done well.
It's got mixed results. Don't listen to him. It's got mixed results, but go ahead.
3rd and inches, throw the damn ball. Have your quarterback go out as a receiver, end around, flea flickers. Yeah, and special. The dog is concurring. My dog is not here right now, but concurring. And don't be afraid to put the big lineman in the back on the 2-inch-yard line instead of 2 push. The dog loves my suggestions. And as a divorced old coach from years ago, make sure she does not fall less than number 2 on the rating scale during the season, or you'll join that same line. At least tell her she's number 1. And also give a lot of responsibility on the weekends. I know it's film. You guys watch more film than Cisco and Ebert ever did. Give them the responsibility. Take her out, especially to her clothing store of choice, and you'll stay number 1 on her list. Just if you don't take this advice, that's fine. Consequences you will suffer.
No, and it's funny. You're absolutely right, and that's one thing we've done is during football season, we always have a specific day, and it's usually the day before a game because practice gets out pretty earlier on your walkthrough day. Is we always do date night that night, so we always spend time together because, like I said, always make sure she's number 1 priority. So you're not wrong. You're really extremely right there. So.
Like I said, I'm the oldster, so I have to give the advice, and I had to learn from my mistakes too. So. But in all, we wish you the best, and we'll be keeping track, and we'll have you on eventually again.
Appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach. Great week. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have a great season, and I'm sure we'll talk down the road.
Sounds good. See you guys later.
All right. It's Brent, ball coach of the Menchville Monarchs, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk, powered TV. Really cool to chat with him. We've got more coming your way. Ed's going to drink some good OJ. Oh, and he's got a bone to pick with George Pantas, the VCW former commissioner. He's a little upset about that. And don't forget, we have another interview with football coach Glenwood Ferebee of the Tallwood Lions. Caught up with us. We caught up with Coach Priv of Booker T. Caught up with Coach Ashley of Menchville. Get a little Lions flavor, too. It is 757 Sports Talk, and they're watching where, Edward?
Best place to be on Saturday mornings, Kova Sports TV. Like, share, subscribe.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Kova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit kovapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
George, you're the commissioner. You're not his manager. Your job is to take BCW forward for everybody. Okay? You do that out of the kindness of who you are in the position that you're in. But to attack Brandon from behind, at least do it in front of his face. You're an upstanding, upright man. You've been that your whole life. And you did the coward way out. And this Stepanatsky, Stupanoopsy, whatever his name is, he hasn't paid you a cent yet. And you trusted him. Yeah, that's like telling the devil, here's the keys to the car. Make sure you bring it back. Yeah, I'll believe it when he pays it. You let a lot of people down. Now, I still call you friend, but I'm going to watch you side-eye from now on because you might turn on me. So I don't know. If this knucklehead next to me, Hatfield, says, hey, George, I'm going to help you out. But I need a favor you got to do to Ed Young.
Yes.
And he's the type that would do it.
I would.
I don't know if I can trust you. And George, you know, in this business, trust is everything.
George, listen real quick. Ed's gone to places like Las Vegas, New York, all these big cities, honky-tonkin'. Does he ever bring his friend Matt Hatfield with him? No. I would do the same thing you did to Mr. Scott. Give me a 2x4 and I'll hit Coach Young in the head with it.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. There you go.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it right here, that what I did was right. And Brandon was responsible for it. And Ed, I hear what you're saying. Jerry is paying me the money. I haven't seen it yet, but he is paying me the money, and I know that he will. And as a matter of fact, why don't you, Ed, I will have 2 tickets for you. And Matt, if you want to come, I'll have 2 tickets for you at October 4th. We're over at the Kroc Center where Jerry Stephanidis, my new friend, is going to present me with an award.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Oh, look who's back on the program, the former VCW commissioner himself, George Pantas with us. George, good to see you as we're closing in on Ding Ding, the Liberty Lottery at the Portsmouth Pavillion, July 25th. You see all the casts and characters that will be involved, including, George Pantas and Papa Don and Brandon Scott and all these great folks. And all the tickets are available for you by scanning that QR code and visiting Ticketmaster.com. George, how you been?
I have been great, excited, happy for our Liberty Lottery coming up. Look at that amazing picture right here, this poster. Look at those belts. They belong to us, Papa Don, Mr. Pantas, and Brandon Scott, who gets in there and does my work for me because I now own his contract, and there's nothing that he or you, Ed Young, can do about it. He belongs to me.
Well, a lot has happened in
Indeed.
VCW since we last had you on the program, and you can fill in some of the gaps for us here, George. But this is an exciting time for the sport and wrestling, and I'm sure you're here to tell us some great stories from the past as well as what's going on in the present and the future here. But I can just tell in your voice, you are thrilled for what's on deck.
I really am. It is an exciting time to be a wrestling fan throughout Virginia, throughout the world, really, but especially July 25th. We are the #1 wrestling promotion in Virginia. This is our 30th year in business. And look at this poster. We are bringing in Johnny B. Bad, Mark Merrow himself, who will be taking pictures, signing autographs, and then answer any questions that the fans have. Look at Satsi, former WWE superstar, who will be wrestling against that beautiful young lady right over there, Miss Bailey. And you have so many other title matches that we're going to go into in a few minutes. But yes, we have family entertainment. We have something for everyone. And we know that the fans will be excited to come and see these amazing matches that will happen at the Portsmouth Pavillion. This is our return to the Portsmouth Pavillion from last year. It was an amazing success, and we're looking to do even better this year.
There you heard it, Ed, as you heard it from my good friend George Pantas. I guess, George, we can't let Ed refer to you as George, right? He's got to call you Mr. Pantas, right?
That is correct. And I don't know where he comes off, start calling me George all the time. And even on Facebook, when he comments on my posts, I don't know. Tell me, Young, where do you find the nerve to comment on my stuff? I know we were friends at one time, but I don't know what happened to you. You should be on my corner, my side.
Yeah, I'd block him.
You can count Mr. Pantas, and if I call you Mr. Pantas, I expect Mr. Young back. Okay? Respect.
You got it, Young.
I was taught to respect my elders, so I will do that for you. But you can count on one hand, minus 4 fingers, how many people are on your side now. We saw the low blow you gave Brandon Scott, once a great friend, a person who you've helped tremendously in wrestling, and then you went to the dark side. For what reason? This great Greek fake god Papa Don, okay, who needs to stand on a ladder to be 5'9", and you want to give him all his glory. Now, I don't want to disrespect people, but I got a feeling what's coming to you is due you in this return of the Liberty Lottery, which is VCW's WrestleMania, so to speak. It's the best independent group show in the country, the longest running independent group in the country. A lot of them come and go. Sometimes we want to see you come and go, but you're here and we will deal with you. And I'm going to be in the crowd. And when yours comes to you, what you're getting, I will stand up and I will clap and I will shake your hand because you are due for something for what you did turned on all the fans, the little kids, broke so many hearts. For what? Nobody has paid you any money to do that. Your buddy, what's his name? Stepping Mousinicius or whatever his name is. He hasn't done nothing for you. But let me calm my nerves. Let me console my anger. As I said, I was taught to respect my elders.
Matt, can you believe what Mr. Young is saying here? Now, Mr. Young, I am so glad that you're going to be there in the audience, because you will see Mr. Pantas, you will see Papa Don, you will see Scott as we come out victorious. And our belts that we are going to walk with, our Virginia Tag Team World belts, they're going to be back around our waist again as we leave, because we are the best. And you know what? You know what Nice and Smooth is trying to do? They're trying to bring in David Crockett in their corner. He's going to even bother to show up. I don't see him coming there because he's too afraid of George Pantas. Now, Matt, I know that you and I have talked, and you were asking me about what happened between David and I. Do you want to run that clip? And then we'll talk about
for the audience. For sure. Let's show the audience what we're talking about here on 757 Sports Talk.
Wrestling, a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute.
George,
Give me that. Wait a minute. You don't deserve a Lifetime Achievement Award. I deserve it. I built this area. I built Virginia. I filmed everything. You put through the wrestlers in there. I filmed everything. It's all over the world. This belongs to me. Here, take this.
Come on.
Go. Now. We got it.
Oh, looked like the Papa Don, the Greek god, meant business there, Ed.
Once again, the video film does not lie. Mr. Pantas steals David Crockett's Lifetime Achievement Award. If we all know our wrestling, David Crockett, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, Carolinas, down to Florida, great history with the Crockett's, especially David. And before the man could get his award, this guy jumps in and steals it. Then he has to have his little fluky guy, Poppy Siege or whatever he was, come in and try to intimidate poor Mr. Announcer. But he stole the award. George, excuse me, Mr. Pantas. The belts, every time I see on internet, Mr. Pantas has both belts on his shoulder like they're his. The wrestlers don't even have them. This guy is having a midlife crisis and wants everything that he has not earned.
Whoa. Well, before you rebuttal here, George, Ed, one of our old bosses did tell us lie if you can, steal if you must, but always cheat. But he's got one of the three covered there. He just needs to get the lying and the cheating part to get covered with the stealing part. That's all. I
can't believe it. Punk's an outstanding citizen, the face of VCW at one time. Now he's the other end of VCW.
First of all, Mr. Young, David Crockett never deserved that award. I don't know why they gave it to him and not me. I was the one that built this area for years and years and years. I was the one that filmed the footage all over the world for fans to see. And what did David do? He just brought a couple of wrestlers in here and there. I deserve that Lifetime Achievement Award. I didn't steal anything. I took what rightfully belonged to me. But you know what? The rest of the card is an amazing action that we're going to have from top to bottom. And I want very much for us to now talk a little bit about this card. And Matt, for you only, I'm really very angry at Young over here. But for you only, if you want to hear some stories, I'll be more than happy to share some stories.
It's fine. I can take it off the screen for a moment. You can go through a little bit of the card if you like. Go through whatever pick a match. We'll bring Mr. Young back. We'll bring Mr. Young back in a couple moments. But let's go through some of these. I see, and take them however you want. I'm going to flash them on the screen here. You tell me what you think here. You got the Boar, George. Look at this. The Boar. Tell us about this one.
Oh, my God. Yes. a former VCW heavyweight champion and a very much a fan favorite for our fans who absolutely adore him. And I even have to admit my grandson Johnny likes him a lot, which bothers me, but it is what it is. And Tiberius now has a manager, the famous Tim Lulis. And so my money is going to be on Tiberius. This is a no-holds-barred match. Wrestling and fighting and everything else will be all over Portsmouth. And this is definitely a hard-hitting match. The two have been feuding against each other, interfering in their matches. And this is going to be VCW's way of hopefully coming to a conclusion, which I know they will.
Next one up, you got Golden Pink Society. This is an interesting match.
There's my director.
Special referee. Yeah.
Yes, there's my director. And to Young, who can't pronounce the name, it's Jerry Stefanicis, the greatest director in VCW history. These are amazing wrestlers, all four of them. They also have been feuding, and this is going to be hopefully a culmination of their rivalry. The formerly known as Whole Stars, former multi VCW tag team champions, the Pinky Society with Diamond Victor Griff, and of course our very own Benjamin Banks. They are so popular with the fans that I have a feeling if they just listen to those fans, they may come over, win the match. But I know that the director as special referee will have something to say about that.
The ladies take
there
center stage.
They are.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
Yes, Joya Blake and Satsi. Now, this match has been months in the making. The two have crossed paths in the past. I don't know if they've actually put hands on each other, but they've been on the same card. And we were so excited when Joya Blake won a contest that she was involved with, a wrestling match, and now has earned the opportunity to challenge this amazing WWE superstar. Satsi is known throughout the world, and guaranteed this is going to be a barn burner. Both of these young ladies are amazing.
All right, Ed's 5-minute timeout is almost up here, George. We're putting him in timeout because he's been a bad boy, but we got two more graphics for the folks here, and you can tell us more about the lineup here for the VCW Liberty Lottery at Portsmouth Pavillion at the end of July here. We had on the program earlier, Devontas taking on Rex Lawless. This is much anticipated.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Rex Lawless has wrestled Devontas before, and Rex has come out victorious. And my money is on our heavyweight champion. He's going to come out victorious again. Devontas, the horse of all horses, is really very tough and very much a number one contender. He earned the spot. But I am rooting for Rex. Rex is ruthless, is rough, and this match also is going to be a very hard-hitting match. But my money is on Rex Lawless. Our heavyweight champion will walk out again.
And you see all these matchups scrolling across our ticker here on Cova Sports TV and 757 Sports Talk. This one goes without any explanation because George is a part of the graphic, the Tag Team Championship.
Yes. We soundly defeated Nice and Smooth to take the belts away from them. I'm not going to take anything else from them because they are amazing wrestlers, young. Look at them, heartthrobs, and they are definitely fan favorites. But no match for the current VCW World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Brandon Scott is doing my work for me. The real champions, Greek Mad Papa Don, and of course, Mr. Pantas. Now, excuse me here, and I've gotten too excited. Now, they dared, and this is where I lost respect for them, they dared to ask David Crockett to come in and be in their corner. Like David is even going to bother to show up, like I said earlier. There's no way, and even if he's there, I will put him in his place and make sure he has nothing else to do with VCW again. We will walk out victorious, and we will continue to reign supreme in VCW.
Going out cheer, Boo. Support the Liberty Lottery, VCW, July 25th, Portsmouth Pavillion, as Ed Young is back with us after his 5-minute timeout, and he's ready to share more thoughts on Mr. Pantas and the Liberty Lottery and anything else that's roaming through his mind today. Why are you shaking your head for now? What's wrong now, Coach?
Total disgrace. I get taken off the screen, and you leave him on the screen. He lies. He's cheated. He's stolen. He's making a mockery of Brandon Scott's career now, making Brandon do his lackey stuff. Brandon Scott's got something up his sleeve for this match. Watch what happens. I've got a feeling. And Dave Crockett, don't turn your back, Mr. Pantas, because David Crockett got something for you. It's going to be a heck of a show. People, you better get out there because Mr. Pantas is going to get what's coming to him. Mr. Stepinitsky, Shinsky, whoever he is, will try to cheat in his match as the referee, but he's going to get his too. And I hope I ain't got to get involved and slap somebody silly to get them straight because I'm not licensed. But I'll tell you what, I know what's wrong and I'm not for it. And I'm glad the ladies are on the show. And there's two really good ones. Really, really good. Shotzi's well-known, been a world champion before. Blake, young lady Blake, is going to be an up-and-comer on one of the big shows coming up soon enough. So I will hand it to Mr. Pantas because I'm a respectful guy that he helped put together one hell of a card for Liberty Lottery. Now, I just hope he don't screw it up by doing his cheating stuff.
Well, and George, as you know, being in the profession, the business, and being as accomplished as you are, good and bad, liked or disliked, as in the case, I like you. A lot of people like Ed don't like you anymore. But Hulk Hogan was like this, in wrestling for many, many years. So you're viewed as one of the, living legends. I can give you that phrase. Tell the folks that don't know some of your background and origin, how did you get involved with VCW? And take us through some of your roots, if you can, with the sport.
Sure, not a problem. I have been in and around the world of professional wrestling for well over 50 years. Started as a fan, loved every minute of it when I first came to America and discovered it on TV, right here locally on Wavy TV 10. And then once I started to understand the language and realized that they actually come to town. Back in those days, we're talking now with the early 70s. Yes, the voice, my childhood, Bob Caudle, the voice of professional wrestling. And here, this is an amazing picture. I don't know how you found it, but thank you for putting it up there. This is from the early 90s when I actually worked with Bob. So I went from being a fan to working with him with another promotion when Jim Crockett Promotions was sold to when Jim Crockett Promotions. Oh, wow. That's going to be a story for maybe another time. Okay. So hold on that one. He's okay. A local wrestler. Hold on that one. Sure. Let's take with this one. Okay. Yeah. And so I wound up promoting I was saying that when Jim Crockett Promotions was sold to Ted Turner, there was a void locally. And so in North Carolina, South Atlantic Professional Wrestling came into existence, and I was the Virginia promoter for South Atlantic Professional Wrestling. And they were in over 75 stations. They really did very well there for a few years, and I was very blessed to work with them. So answering your question, I started as a fan, got to know a lot of the wrestlers personally, and as years passed, I had a Super 8 camera that I filmed a lot of footage from the ring apron, and I was able to eventually sell that about 11 years ago, sell it to WWE, and many of the documentaries that you see on A&E or Biography, that they have the Ric Flairs, the Dusty Rhodes, the Ricky Steamboats, Roddy Pipers, Iron Sheik, and those documentaries of wrestlers that wrestled here, and they show arena footage is my footage from the ring apron. So it's really very exciting and very blessed And I know that one, Ed, there's no way you can say anything negative on that one because, and I am going to call you Ed because I know you're a true wrestling fan and I do respect you. I do respect you. I will admit that right now. I do respect you. I just don't understand why you can't see things my way. But we covered that. We're not going to go there again. But I respect your professional wrestling.
Your background is impeccable in wrestling. You were one of the first to give the great footage that the big boys use and he did not give you enough credit for. And you didn't complain and bitch and moan. You kept doing your thing because you loved the business. You were helpful. You were one of the greatest promoters, South Atlantic Professional Wrestling. But the stuff from Carter.
And
yes, George, I give you all of that. It's what you have done lately that has made people say, "What? If you were just a jerk your whole life, we would understand." But you were not. You were the best in the business. You did things when your health didn't allow it, but you still tread through. You helped so many young wrestlers get noticed over your own self to move up. That's all there. No question. It's what you have done lately that has ticked a lot of us off. Respect, yes, sir. I give you respect for your past, for what you have meant to this business. But what you have done lately, all I'm going to say is you're going to, as everybody does in wrestling, you're going to get yours.
Yes, I'm getting my belts that we will leave out again on July 25th, the Liberty Lottery. Matt, I don't know how you found these pictures, but thank you for putting them up there. That was part of when I sold some of my footage. I still own some, but when I sold some of my footage to WWE, as I was saying earlier, part of the package, if you will, was for me to take a tour of the warehouse. It was a one-on-one tour. The person that runs that his name is Ben Brown. Okay. And there I am. That is, talk about history, right? Harley Race, the robe that Harley Race wore so many times here at the Norfolk Scope and Hampton Coliseum in his matches against Ric Flair. And to be able to look at that smile on my face, to be able to hold Harley's robe was just a dream come true for me. So much memorabilia that I highly recommend to fans. If you go on YouTube and you type in WWE Warehouse, you will see a lot of great videos about taking the tour. Now, this one, I had goosebumps because this actually is the ring that they used for WrestleMania 1. Oh, wow. Look, yes, look at that buckle over there. You can see the old school logo for the WWF back then. But this was just incredible to be able to touch and put my hands on the WrestleMania 1 ring that they used. And they also have their rings that they use now that are amazing. They have heating. When they do shows outside, what we don't know, although now they've started to give away some of the secrets, is they have heating systems underneath the ring. The poles that the ring poles have holes in them for heat to come out to keep the wrestlers semi-warm. It's just amazing what WWE has, of course, as everybody knows, grown. But this was the granddaddy of them all for the WWF back then, the WrestleMania 1 ring that I was able to touch and see so much stuff there at the warehouse.
Really, really cool. A couple minutes here with George Pantas, the former VCW commissioner, as he chats some stories with us from his wrestling past, the present, and the future. What's in store for the future? Well, it's the Liberty Lottery coming up on July the 25th, Portsmouth Pavillion. Get your tickets. You see the tag team championship matchup. The whole card's been scrolling across our ticker for much of the program. In our final few minutes, you're watching 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe, Ed.
Well, Mr. Pantas, how can people get the tickets? It's a Portsmouth Pavillion outdoors. How we get tickets?
Yes, sir. Now, and I want to be clear, we say outdoors, but as we saw at the beginning of the show on that great clip, it has a huge tent So if the weather does not cooperate, which actually we ran into that last year, and thank God the storm that was projected to come didn't arrive until after our show was over. But there's a huge tent, so everyone will be protected during the actual show itself, along with the wrestlers, of course. But as far as answering your question, Mr. Young, the easiest way is to go to Ticketmaster and type in VCW. It takes you straight to the tickets, and people can purchase them. They can also purchase if they're at the door, if need be. But we highly, highly recommend the floor. Well, the front row has been sold out for months. If I didn't check today, but as of last week, there were only a few seats left for the floor, and of course, we still have seats for the general admission. We will have vendors there that will be selling different wrestling memorabilia and items. The fans will come. The fans will have access to the wrestlers who come out and take pictures and sign autographs. And which is why I go back to what I said at the beginning. We truly are a family-friendly environment, and we are very proud of that that moniker, if you will. So we're really looking forward to all the fans coming out. And even I, Mr. Pantas, when I'm not in the ring, am nice and friendly, and I'll be friendly to you, Mr. Ed. And we'll even take a picture together as I hold the belt victorious after our match.
So cool. It's really like Ed said earlier, it's sort of VCW's version of WrestleMania. It's all right here in the 757 Liberty Lottery. Should be tons of fun community event and all kinds of great features, as you heard George mention. What else you got to say before we let you roll here? Go ahead. You got something else?
Yes. Well, the name of the show is called Liberty Lottery. And so we talked about the individual matches, but we didn't talk about the marquee. Okay. And so Liberty Lottery is when 20 wrestlers, it's sort of like for the fans to understand the picture, it's sort of like the Royal Rumble, where the wrestlers come in at different moments. So the difference with us is legitimately, for real, the wrestlers themselves have no idea who's going to go first, second, and so on. Well, I take that back. The 1st and the 20th, they wrestled last time, the wrestlers, and that was determined. But from 2 to 19, the fans themselves pick the names, and then the wrestlers will come out as their names are called, get in there, and their goal is to throw everybody else out, be the last one remaining, because the last one remaining gets to call their title shot. They can either go after one of our U.S. Liberty belt, they can go after the heavyweight belt, or like Papa Don did, and because he had already been Liberty champion, he had already been heavyweight champion, he decided, with my guidance, to go after the tag team belts. And of course, with my wisdom as the wisest man of all Virginia, with me acquiring Brandon Scott's contract, because regardless, as Ed was saying earlier, Brandon is an amazing wrestler. He was actually recently, and this is the other thing I want to make clear to the fans, that this is an opportunity with independent wrestling that to see young men and young ladies who their goal is to make it to the WWE, to make it to AEW, to make it in Japan. Brandon has been on AEW. Brandon has been on WWE. He was actually on there as recently as about 3 weeks ago, where Brandon also has like a medical degree, and he was able to come out as one of the EMTs, whatever it's called, to help one of the stars from the movie that John Cena's in, who decided to get him involved against Jacob Fatu. And so Brandon had to go there and help get him out of the ring, take care of him, and so on. So that's the beauty of independent wrestling, that you get to see the wrestlers before they make it big. And sometimes when they do leave there, they come back like Satsi. They come to our shows, and the fans get to interact with them. So it's a win-win situation for the fans, for the wrestlers and all of us involved. And I do want to brag one more thing. Currently, as we speak, one of the WWE announcers, his WWE name, he's on NXT, he's on the main event, he's one of the commentators and announcers. His name is Blake Howard. Up until 2.5 years ago, he was our commentator. He was our announcer, Blake Chadwick. And so that's the beauty of professional wrestling at its finest. Seeing this young talent hungry, we make sure to have constantly new wrestlers come in. So because they're hungry and they want to prove themselves to the other wrestlers, but they also want to prove themselves to the fans. And that one makes it a winning combination for everyone. And we're looking forward to seeing all of you fans on July 25th at the Portsmouth Pavillion. Go to Ticketmaster and put in VCW, and we can't wait to see you. We guarantee you a fantastic time.
So many neat storylines and intriguing journeys that are being told through this sport and what you all are doing with VCW, the Liberty Lottery. And can't thank you enough for coming on, George. Before we let you run, I've got one final question. I'm sure Ed may have one final question or comment or two for you as well. You brought up the Royal Rumble. I always loved watching that as a kid, whether it was seeing Hulk Hogan or Razor Ramon or Macho Man, whoever got in the ring. Is it possible if someone gets thrown in the ring, they get thrown out? Is it possible if Coach John gets on my nerves enough that I can throw him in the ring and somebody throw him out?
We have to get him licensed, sadly. But maybe if we can work that for a future show, because I would love to get my hands on Mr. Young. I don't know if he wants to tackle with me, but I will be. Well, you know what? Let's talk about that offline, okay?
Okay, sure. In the future, we'll work on that in the future to get Ed thrown out of a ring. I would love that. That would make my day. Any final thoughts, Coach Young?
Just want you to know, if you look up here, okay, I got a belt too now, Mr. Pantas. I got a gold belt sitting right there. I don't brag, okay?
He got that at Toys R Us, George, before we went out of business for $19.95 is where he got that.
That's a Toys R Us, sure. Just letting you know, careful what you wish for, because I play dirty too. Also, my last question, Mr. Pantas. I know you have some hatred towards me. I'm hoping, though, you respect me enough that my ticket is a good ticket and I'm not up there holding the light bulbs in the ceiling somewhere.
Well, that's where it was. But since you put me on the spot, now I'm going to have to move you from there and bring it down a little bit closer, because I want to see your face when we are victorious one more time.
There you go. I'll root for you, George. He might not, but I'll root for you.
Awesome.
He's going to hear me all right. He's going to hear me all right.
Just make sure you call me Mr. Pantas. Now, Matt, always call me George.
You got it, George. Always a pleasure, my friend. Go on out, support the Liberty Lottery, Virginia Championship Pro Wrestling. Ticketmaster is how you get your tickets. Scan that QR code. You'll see all the matchups, everything online there. July 25th, Portsmouth Pavillion. Be there or be square. George Pantas, always a pleasure, the former VCW commissioner, our guest, and we look forward to seeing you at the end of the month.
Thank you.
Mr. Pantas, I give you respect, and also I do know your wife was a little ill. We pray that she's getting even better and better. Of course, with her have to put up with you, who knows, but we do hope she gets better. And take care of yourself so we can see what happens to you on the 25th.
Will do. Thank you. Thank you.
You got it. 757 Sports Talk with former VCW Commissioner George Pantas here on Cova Sports TV. We're always streaming and we're always live and on demand. Where are they watching, Ed?
On the best place to be, Cova Sports TV. Like, share, subscribe.
Welcome to the most honest commercial you'll ever see.
And as you can see, me and you are both having trouble starting to talk.
Yep.
I mean, this is something that you're breathing in every day.
Yeah.
Like 50% of the air in the house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is coming from down here.
Yes, sir.
How's your crawl space looking? You say we're going to be here a while.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get busy.
Get a free and honest inspection with JES Foundation Repair, a Groundworks company.
Authentic Italian cuisine can be found in just one place in Hampton Roads, Il Giardino Ristorante in Virginia Beach. Il Giardino offers veal, seafood, chicken, pasta, vegetarian, and pizza creations. Add the sounds of the piano bar and lounge, and it's no wonder Il Giardino is such a popular local spot. Open daily at 5 p.m.
All right, here with Tallwood head football coach Glenwood Ferebee, gearing up for year number 2 at the helm of the Lions in Virginia Beach as the 2026 campaign is getting closer and closer. Coach, getting some off-season work here with your guys. What's different for you in year 2 from year 1 as we flash back? And, of course, people know you from the 757, your days as a standout at Green Run. You took Indian River to the state playoffs and, of course, won a couple of state titles in North Carolina with some college coaching stints in between there. But you come back to your hometown of Virginia Beach, Tallwood. It's a program for athletes. Last year was 3-7, but I know you have aspirations to do better.
Oh, definitely. And I think we're getting strides. The difference between this year and last year, I didn't get hired until the end of June. So I didn't get an off season to work with guys, get to know my kids. Now my staff and I know what our kids can do. So it'll be a lot more positive this year than it was last year. And we've always made strides in the weight room, which was the biggest thing that we wanted to handle this offseason.
For sure. And I can't help but smile when I see on your staff former rivals 5-star Indian River standout who played at Virginia Tech, Devin Hunter. I see he's always communicating with the young guys out there, showing them the ropes. It's got to be a blessing to have him on your staff, right?
Definitely, man, because he's been there. He understands what it means and what it takes to be a 5-star athlete. And also we went to the state semis with him, so he understands what it takes. And you can see the passion in him and the way he talks to the kids. And he also does a great job training them. So a lot of our kids have made a lot of strides from working with Devin.
I'm going to get to a senior in a moment, but speaking of guys that look like the future Hunter, you have a freshman out here. I think it's Isaiah Ladson, incoming 9th grader. Tell me about him, because he kind of pops and made a big play to conclude your 7-on-7. He's got a bright future, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely. He reminds you of Devin. Devin stays on him, and because Devin sees himself in him. So yeah, he's going to be a special one. And he's been making plays like that all 7-on-7 for like the past 4 weeks. He's made a play like that. So that's big, that knowing that you can take shots like that with him and he can go up and get it.
You are loaded with a bevy of talented underclassmen, and they got their feet wet. Some of them freshmen, sophomores a year ago. You don't have a ton of seniors on this roster. I think talking about 6 or 7 perhaps. But one that's caught our eye is a lineman in the trenches. Always good to have leaders up front, and a guy in Joseph McFarland who flipped his commitment from William & Mary to James Madison. Tell me about him and his choice with JMU. He's going to be a guy you lean on, isn't he?
Oh, 100%. He's gotten a lot stronger, so it helps us. It helps us in the run game, which we want to do this year. Like I said, it was an emphasis on getting stronger. And he's one of the kids that we needed to get stronger, and he's done that. And JMU showed him a lot of love when he went up. Coach Napier and his staff brought him and his parents up. And then Joe actually went back up to catch practice, and he liked what he saw, built a relationship with the offensive line coach. So and plus they're purple and gold like us. So it was an easy transition for him.
You know, change the color scheme, a couple more free let you run. And you're going to play a lot of 9th, 10th graders get their feet wet offensively, defensively. What do you want to see from these guys as you transition here from the 7-on-7 to your scrimmages with Grassfield and Lakeland, and then game 1 coming up? I think it's your alma mater, isn't it? Green Run again, game 1. Yeah. So you get thrown right to the Lions, if you will. Mm-hmm. If you will, you see the beach champs for the last 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it is. There's going to be some tests that await you.
Yeah, we're gonna get their feet wet. I played as a freshman. Devin plays as a freshman. I've had freshmen that went on to be big time players that played as freshmen. So I explained that to the young guys, like, hey, we got to get you caught up to speed with the speed of a high school football game coming from middle school. So we're gonna play some freshmen. We got some sophomores that was freshmen last year that played last year as well. So there'll be 10th graders this year. And then we got 10th graders that played last year. That'll be 11th graders this year that got a ton of playing time. So the biggest thing that I want to see with them is playing with more confidence than they did last year.
Sure. And last, as we go to what's on your shirt here, everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. Eric Thomas said, tell me about that message and what it is to your guys. And I know everybody wants to accelerate processes these days. We live in a social media era. Can you go from 3-7 to compete for region state championships, but you can't rush the process. What will help you get on that springboard, if you will? I know you're looking for that signature win at some point here in year 2.
Yeah, so we look at the schedule. Of course, we got Green Run first. We played them tough in the first half last year, so that was a bright spot. And we've gotten better, and I'm sure they've gotten better. So we're going to look at it one game at a time, man. And I think we're getting the kids to understand what the process is of winning. You got a lot of kids transferring from this school to that school. Some of them go to transfer and don't play, as opposed to staying at the school that they're at and waiting their turn. That was one of the things that my state championship teams in Charlotte did. All my kids stayed. and they went through the process and they waited their turn. So now it becomes a program as opposed to just a team that wins. So we're trying to build a program here at Tallwood where we can feed a Brandon Middle School in, because we're the only school that they feed to. So they all come to me, and they're in the championship every year, or at least in the semis. Yeah. So we want to get them enrolled in here and transitioned in here, because they don't want a championship and they understand what it takes. So that's another reason why playing the ninth graders is so important, because they understand what winning is about and the process it takes. So,
Coach Ferb looking to put the roar in the lines here in 2026 and beyond. Thank you so much. We'll be watching.
Yes, sir. All right, boss.
Oh, yeah, it's another warm one. Toasty and roasty. It's so hot that the Statue of Liberty was asked to lower her arm.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
With his arm raised, the Coach Ed Young joining yours truly, Matt Hatfield, for this final segment of 757 Sports Talk on
everything was going great. Interviews were fantastic. The fellows coming on, and then you come up with one of the most asinine, I don't even want to call it a joke. Statue of Liberty was asked to lower her arm.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. The first thing I did was ponder, like, what? No laughing, which most people.
Well, we've got to explain it to you. You're a little slow there. That's okay. Anyhow, I'll give you a little pool snippet that you'll enjoy. You'll like this real quick. Uh-oh. Oh, look at that. Look at the big fella saving the little guy. Now that's getting it done. You like that poolside, don't you?
I would rather see them in the pool, have poolside adventures with them fellas than your most asinine, not even jokes. I don't know what they are sometimes.
Well, you got to stop complaining. That water's starting to call my name here, and it's about time we sign off. Before we do, though, you heard from Glenwood Ferebee, you heard from John Krikorian, you heard from Brent Ashley, you heard from Mike Privott. We've had a jam-packed show, Ed. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, we've been scrolling across the ticker. The Virginia football commits FBS and FCS across the state. Who else got that? We got it for you here on Cova Sports TV. If you want to see the full list, it's going to be up on VirginiaPreps.com this weekend. It is a bunch of kids. In fact, I always love doing this to you. How many do you think have committed FBS or FCS at this moment right now, today, July 18th? What's the number? Give me a guess. What do you think it is?
Across the whole state?
Across the entire state of VA. Unless we're missing somebody, how many do you think it is?
127.
Oh, it's a little high. 75 at the moment. FBS, FCS. One.
I was going to say 72, but when you said
1A or 1AA. Yeah. And we're going to effort getting on the show soon, by the way, some college football guests. We're going to get on our man Paul Stone. Phil Steele's got his book out. I haven't gotten it yet. We're going to get those two guys on. They're two of the very best in the business.
I got it.
And we've got some that's nice that you got one in. Get me one. Let's see how you are, what a friend you are. And we're also going to probably get on before her jersey retirement on the program. Delisha Milton-Jones gets her LA Sparks jersey retired, the women's basketball coach at the old Dominion University, where I do the play-by-play. So I'm sure Ed will pepper her with questions about how she's gotten through this many seasons with me as the play-by-play voice. But anyhow, before we do bid adieu on this episode, speaking of coaches, it was ACC Media Week, Media Day. This whole week they had the preseason gathering in Charlotte. And in case you hadn't seen, the head football coach of the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech, that's Brent Key, was the one who made headlines with this clip.
With the ever-changing landscape of college football, there's some coaches who push against it. You've been one who's been vocally embracing of it. Can you just talk about the importance of being adaptable in that regard and how that
What else am I going to do? Seriously, what am I going to object to it? I don't want to do that. I don't have a say in it. I mean, we could walk out of here right now and be 3 different rules or a change in something. But we don't. I mean, you have to be adaptable. Right, you have to be able to change. And people say, kids are different now. Well, so are the adults. We are too. Right? We're the ones that set the example, but, the same guys that want to complain about a lot of the things in college football need to look themselves in the mirror. They're the ones jumping jobs every 2 years too. Let's be real. The adults in the room sometimes end up being the bigger problem. And I'm very transparent with my team about that. We talk very real in terms of that. Look, we're co-workers. There's no dictatorship at Georgia Tech. I'm the head coach. I'm the leader, yes. But we have to work together, and they understand that. It's about the players at Georgia Tech. Always has been and always will be as long as I'm the head football coach there.
You tell him, Coach Key. You tell him. 27-20 in 3 years, 9-4 last season, 6-2 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I'm sure we'll get on our pal David Teal, who was down there, the longtime ACC scribe who covers the sport for the Virginia Pilot Daily Press, Virginia Sports Hall of Famer, who we love so much having on the program. But you know what? I hope he put disgruntled coaches like you in your place. You know what? You guys change a little bit. It ain't always about the players. Stop complaining about the players and their parents. Take some accountability, some responsibility, some ownership of it. Although I know you really got riled up when he said that the players and him, they're co-workers. Oh, my goodness. That one really, I know that burned you up. Burned you up. Way to go, Coach Key. Way to go. And, oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed, Georgia Tech's quarterback, at least one of them that probably gets to start, is sophomore Alberto Mendoza, younger brother of Fernando Mendoza of your Las Vegas Raiders, Indiana Hoosiers Heisman Trophy winner and national champ. So maybe they're onto something there as they've got a replacement perhaps for Haynes King, their hard-running quarterback the last couple of years. Yeah, you have any reaction to Coach Key's comments, or are you just going to lay low on this Saturday?
He's right. And he's not right. You have to adapt to today's situations. You can bitch, complain, cry, whatever, but if you don't, at that level now, this is in levels. At that level, you have to understand, if you don't, the portal, NIL, revenue sharing. As we talked with John Krikorian about him going back to Division I assistant, and he said it's completely different than he was a Division I assistant 20 years ago. So he's relearning everything and on his way to being a head coach again at Division I level. I agree with Coach on that. And there is a lot of guys, not as many as people think, who are jumping jobs within every 2-3 years, but they bitch when the kids want to transfer. Kids are transferring at the college level every year. For what reason? You're in college, hopefully, to get a degree. You can't get your degree in due time, 4 or 5 years. If you transfer every year, it's going to take forever to get the degree. And maybe that's okay for some people. High school, it's different. You can't compare it to college and pro level. Kids aren't supposed to be getting paid. Though there are NIL deals in high school, and yes, it's legal. 99% of us don't have the revenue or the wherewithal to get revenue for the kids to get paid, because it has to come from an outside source, but it is legal. Plus, kids in the high school level, you're talking 14, 15, 16-year-old kids mentally still develop as well as physically. College now, you're 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, some places. Much older. They're some of them are on their own now. High school kids aren't on their own for the most part. Of course, pro level is completely different. So yes, I agree with them to an extent, and we're at the level that he's at, and that's what he's speaking about. At my level, yes, and I will say this, he's right. Kids have changed because adults have changed. Yes, we have parents who really don't know how to parent, or they parent the wrong way. And that's a problem for coaches, because now we take those kids who become entitled, who think they should get everything spoiled, and we're trying to process them into a team. Each gives his best for all. And yes, we got to take advantage of the kids that have better talent. We play them, whatever. But we can't be catered to all the time. And a lot of high school coaches cater to their best kid. They're afraid to lose them. They quote a phrase we use in the past, kiss his butt, because, I don't want to lose him. We have other coaches that go out and try to find a lot of players like that because they're not good teachers. They don't teach the game very well. So they go out and get better players to make themselves look good. But what have you really done for those players? And it's about just winning, whereas it should be about player development as a person off the court, off the field, so they can get ready maybe for that next level. But a lot of kids don't go to that next level. As a high school coach, I'm not trying to develop Division I superstars. I would love to see all my kids go to the next level, get their degree, play basketball or any sport. That's not a problem. But a majority of my kids, high school kids, they're not going to. So are they equipped to go out of high school into the real world with maybe some things you taught them through your sport, adversity and all that, how to come back, being humble, being part of a team, how to motivate yourself, how to study well enough to get your grades because you're going to face obstacles in life, job, whatever. You're going to have a family eventually. So these are things that I think they get lost. But for the most part, Coach is correct when he's saying about, stop blaming the kids and whatever. It is the adults in a lot of situations, no question about it. But again, it's in levels.
An elaborate response there by Coach Young, and that's going to close out this episode of 757 Sports.
Hey, this was maybe, I was thinking during the interviews, the longest show we've ever had.
No, we went 3 hours. We did a couple specials. We did our state basketball and football preview shows. And by the way, we'll be having a high school football preview show for all of you in August before we kick things off. We're getting closer and closer to kickoff. In fact, I think, Ed, this Friday will mark we're 5 weeks away from the first games. Unbelievable how fast it's approaching and coming up on us. But we thank all of those that have interacted, tuned in with us. I don't know if you caught it earlier while you got put in as the old saying goes, a tenderfoot timeout during the George Pantas conversation. Derek Fulgham wants to have you and a mystery partner get a shot at the tag titles, he said. But that'll be next week, and plenty more to come during the month of July before we flip the calendar to my favorite month because somebody we know was born that month, and that is August. Have a great weekend. I'm going to go take a dip in the water. See you later, folks. Pick a number, Ed, 1 through 5, quickly.
3.
All right, you get number 3.
I'm sure you've heard that song, Why Can't We Be Friends? Why can't we be friends? So today's joke, how do you make friends with a squirrel? You climb a tree and act like a nut. Even a tall tree.